Looks like we've uncovered Nintendo's secret August 8th presentation, and I'm going to tell you all about it, plus the end of an era with one of the weirder Switch 2 leaks. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Side note, I've been loving Pikmin 4. Haven't really had a chance to make much content on it, but just want to put it out there. The game's brilliant. I think the graphics are absolutely incredible, and I think the mechanics and Oachi are just the best the series have ever been. It's a little bit easy, but I am loving it, and there's something just so obsessively nice and almost zen, like a zen garden, about just completing all of the tasks and doing them to 100% and making sure your Pikmin don't go kaputs. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's talk about this Switch 2 leak gone wrong, and let's talk about what Nintendo has coming up on August the 8th. I think you'll be excited. First off, Nintendo's BS. We all called BS on this because the gifts were fantastic. Like, the quality of everything was just too good to be true. And we basically said, like, Nintendo would have shut this down if this person actually had all of these concrete videos about new Joy-Con and about the new system and the new UI. And there were some errors along the way that kind of made us real suspicious. And I told you, like, it wasn't real. Well, that saga has come to a conclusion with the dude admitting that, yep, it was a graphic design project and he's trying to capitalize into a YouTube channel, it seems. Tons of eyeballs, like literally millions of eyeballs across all of his different works. I don't know that that's the way I would look to gain popularity, but strangely, the sentiment is very positive. Everybody on the YouTube video seems to be saying, like, great job. Awesome work. This is fantastic, and that is undeniable. This is absolutely fantastic mock-up and better than anything I've ever seen from the mock-up community. I made it clear that this leak was the best, highest quality leak I'd ever seen, and that, among other things, just said and screamed fake. But I don't know how you feel about this. Like, do you think it's good for people to come out with really fake leaks that they try to portray as real and then use that to gain popularity? I guess for like a school project or a job application, it's really, really cool and shows that you can design something real enough to fake people out. But at the same time, yeah, please don't make our Nintendo lives harder with all sorts of fake leaks. Luckily, it was pretty easy to tell this one because it was too good. But at the same time, like, I guess kudos for doing awesome graphic design. If you had any hopes or any fears about this being legit, those have been officially squashed. But what's not squashed is Nintendo's summer. They've been keeping things going. The big late June Direct, the big Game Boy releases of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Let's not forget Stinky Horse. But we also have something coming on August 8th. That's about a week and change away. It'll be Tuesday, August 8th. And I think this, I don't want to say the C word, but I think we can basically say this is as close to as you can possibly get. This comes from Eternal Stay on Twitter, and this is great sleuthing, amazing work, and I'd call this way more of a leak than a rumor, all right? So basically, some people have noticed that Pokemon Masters EX, which is the mobile game, and don't worry, this expands way beyond mobile real fast. The mobile game has a new role being released on August 8th at 3 p.m., and not the usual 8 a.m. update that the game normally sees. Eternal Stay says this is really odd and unusual, what could it be? And then later posts something very direct, which is an awesome, awesome find in a data mine of the website, which shows that there is a campaign called Pokemon Presents, which starts August 8th at 3 p.m. for Pokemon Masters. And if that's not obvious of why the event is happening on August 8th at 3 p.m., then I don't know what is. This is showing start date for the event, August 8th, 3 p.m., and it's labeled Pokemon Presents. So basically, surprise, I think I'll announce that there's a Pokemon Presents on August 8th, and we'll see if Nintendo and the Pokemon Company follows suit. Now, this should be a really interesting event, or it could be a really terrible event. It'll go one of two ways, and let's start with the bad one. I don't want to get your hopes too high because this easily could be an event where they talk about their mobile offerings, Pokemon Masters, Pokemon Sleep, and they detail more about the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and give us like a firm set of expectations and release dates, and then also go into Detective Pikachu 2. We know that game is dropping in October, and we saw a reveal at the last Nintendo Direct, but hardly anything. It was just kind of more of like a montage, like this game is back, it's coming, and more details are definitely in need. That's about as low as I think the Pokemon Presents could go, but I want to keep you like hoping for more, but expecting that. Now above that floor, there's a couple of things that I think could be there. One would be, a lot of rumors lately have stated that Nintendo is working on a new game in the Black and White part of the franchise. So whether this is a remake a la Shining Pearl Brilliant Diamond, whether this is more of like a Legend style spin-off, whether this is a Let's Go game, whether this is some strange prequel sequel to the Black and White 1 and 2 games, we do not know. But it feels like Pokemon is about or ready to announce a next like traditional Pokemon experience. Okay, we had Scarlet and Violet in November, and that was fantastic. We had Arceus in January, that was fantastic. But we've had nothing announced since. All of their focus was on those two games, and we don't have anything big on the horizon. Now, what's extra interesting here is that we do feel like we're on the cusp of a console generation turnover. So potentially whatever Pokemon announces in terms of Switch titles could be a cross-gen experience. It could be the first game to debut on Nintendo Switch 2 for the Pokemon franchise, or it could be just another thing to help bolster declining Switch sales. Now, I don't think that the time frame fits for a 2023 launch. I think if they announce a new game, it'll be 2024. We're here in August, and they've got 2 games in November, right? They don't seem to need anything more. Could it be a December release? Plausibly, but Pokemon doesn't typically use that. I think instead we are going to see something announced for spring of next year. Now, what could that be? Definitely not mainline. We're not even a year out. I don't think it could be an Arceus sequel because that still is only about a year and a half old. It does seem like it'll fill sort of their third pillar, which is like mainline, spin-off, and then kind of remake. So I do think what we'll see will be some sort of Let's Go, Brilliant Diamond, like some sort of remake, retelling, maybe reorganizing. There's a chance they could mix in new content, but I think it will be something that is based on already existing Pokemon. And I think then they will take that and leverage it into a nice 2024 title, as they've kind of skipped most of this year. I know they're dropping Detective Pikachu 2, but even though that is Pokemon, it's very different Pokemon, right? It's not falling into the same alleyway as many of their other titles. I suppose there's also a chance that they could bring in a new Mystery Dungeon game. We did see rumors of that being announced at the last Pokemon Presents, and it did not happen back in February. So maybe we will get that game finally, whether it is a brand new entry or a remake, nobody knows. And then I'll also throw out the idea of finally Pokemon Red and Blue coming to Game Boy. We just got Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons on Nintendo Switch Online, and I think Nintendo would be wise to focus on bolstering their Switch Online offerings. It helps fill in the gaps of August and September when we don't have a major first-party Switch release, and it just bolsters the future, because we know Nintendo accounts and Switch Online will inevitably transfer over to the next system, so building out the library and arsenal of the Game Boy Advance, all of that makes a lot of sense. They also could drop Pokemon Pinball, Pokemon Trading Card Game. There's more in the ways of nostalgic Pokemon back catalog besides the main entries, and I do wonder if they just won't drop the main entries because they want you to buy their remakes. We do have Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, effectively replacing the first Gen 1 titles. Maybe there is a Let's Go Lugia and we'll replace Silver and Gold. Who knows? Maybe Black and White is going to get a Let's Go game. They could bounce around. I'm not sure exactly what it will be, but to me, it's like baseline is just updates on DLC and Detective Pikachu. And then if we get 1 or 2 new announcements, I think that would be fantastic. But it's interesting to note that this Pokemon Presents will be very soon after the recent Nintendo Direct. You would think if they had something major, maybe they would have lined up better. At the same time, I don't know that a remake is considered major. This isn't Scarlet and Violet we're talking about, or Gen 10. This is instead something that would be pulling from the past and bringing it to Switch, porting for extra coins, and you know it will make a bunch of that. But with nothing on the horizon for Pokemon right now in a major way besides DLC, I do think it's time to get another game on the table that isn't Detective Pikachu 2, something that's kind of been around for about 4 years and finally has seen the light of day. It's time for more RPG goodness from TPC to be announced, and I bet that's what we see on August 8th. But let me know in the comments down below what you expect to see, and are you pumped for a Pokemon Presents? I like that we're just going through with more and more. Ironically enough, we're not that far from September, where we expect Nintendo to have another Direct. So if we get Pokemon Presents August 8th, and a Nintendo Direct in the first or second week of September, there could still be a ton of Nintendo announcements to come before the summer is officially done, according to the Farmer's Almanac. But for now, let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you'd hoped is announced at the Pokemon Presents, and if you'll be watching in just a week and a half. Until that time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Thanks again. Switch Force, out.